I miss the original 2014 Ranger, not Tasha's, original. And yes, I'm being serious. Okay, wait. Before you close the video and write me off as clickbait, let me explain real quick. The 2014 Ranger didn't have much. It didn't have damage, it didn't have utility, and it certainly didn't get to do any real survival checks. You know, it did have flavor, potential, and now it's gone. In its place doesn't stand a replacement, just a confused husk. More powerful, but so much less meaningful. Hey, I'm Caliph, and I'm going right for the 2024 Ranger's throat today because somehow this is my least favourite class in the game, despite having one of my favourite class fantasies. This video is honestly more about half-casters in general than just the Ranger, however, because the other two, the Paladin and the Artificer, are pretty awesome, and Rangers aren't. My focus will be on comparing the classes. Okay, before we start, here are the ground rules. This is about flavour, so we're focusing on unique main class features here. No subclasses, no extra attack, no Queen of England. Alright, let's go. Paladin. Holy power emanates from their justice. A literal knight in shining armour, Paladins know what they are and damn do they do it well. Right, the first unique feature for Paladins is Lay on Hands. Use those hands of yours to slap your allies back into the fight, or place your hand on them if you're boring. This is a nice healing pool of points you can use on allies and yourself to keep the fight going. Divine Smite. This feature lets you cast Smite for free, the premier spell of the class, the reason you pick Paladin and... What? Save that for the spell section, but... fine. We'll get to it later. Channel Divinity. Not as cool as Smite, but it makes you a bloodhound for fighting evil. Seek out danger and let yourself at 'em. You're basically Scrappy-Doo now. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Faithful Steed is another feature that gives you a spell. We'll get to it in a moment. Okay, that should have woken up the anime fans. Aura of Protection. Yes, this is the aura, the hype, the... Yeah, no, I can't keep this bit going. Sorry, anime fans, but yeah, your allies are better at saves around you. As you get to later levels, most of what you get is upgrades to your previous abilities. A bigger aura, better lay on hands, and Radiant Strikes even making your attacks better. Radiant Strikes do 1d8 extra every hit. That's a good amount. Well, a good amount for something that's not a concentration spell. Doubt that'll be relevant later. Onto the spells. This is the exciting bit. It's smites, and more smites. Look, let's be honest here, it's why you're picking the class, right? The Templar who brings wrath upon evil. It's a classic, evocative and fun. Honestly, we could stop here and it'd be enough, but there are a few other spells we need to discuss. Compelled Duel. You force someone into Final Destination, 1v1, no items, Fox only. The Duel of Honor is super flavorful. Divine Favor, a 1d4 attack buff that works on multiple attacks. That's similar to something. Oh, and no concentration too. Thank goodness, otherwise the spell would conflict with all the options you get later and become irrelevant. I'm so glad Wizards of the Coast still has a great grasp on spell design. Fine Steed. Finally, all the big, strong armor boys can release their inner horse girl. But, okay. I know when this spell became a feature as Faithful Steed, it was controversial. And I kinda get it, not everyone wants their paladin to be on a horse, but like, Knight in Shining Armor? It's a classic flavor, we can't deny it belongs here. Crusader's Mantle. Costs a 3rd level spell slot, but is basically a side grade to Divine Favor. Everyone gets it, however you do have to concentrate on the spell. Being honest, just use Bless instead. It's the same kind of thing, but only costs a 1st level spell slot. Destructive Wave. Big, thunderous AoE Divine Power. An awesome max level spell for the class. It's simple, but also big and fun. Okay, yes, I'm sorry I skipped all the smites just to save time, but there's so many flavors. There is one I have to talk about though. Banishing Smite. Just look at this bullshit. How is smiting someone into another plane of existence not metal as hell? Sorry, Mr. Paladin. Heck, Paladins really capture this knight in shining armor fantasy. Swinging a sword, protecting allies, and smiting enemies. There's just so many features that set them apart, and while yes, this makes them incredibly powerful, you also can't help but have a strong image in your head of just who these guys are. But okay, that's enough of Paladin. As you can tell, I love them, just look how much there was to say about them. So now we move on to, well, my favourite class in the game without question. Artificer. Man, I love Artificer, but it really is the weird kid of the half-casters. Artificers are those who specialise in creating magic items, taking the tools they created to play with the other adventurers and fight all kinds of foes. They are made to be problem solvers and the party's guy in the chair, alongside the explosives expert. So let's see if Artificers live up to that fantasy, yeah? First, we'll go through the unique spells, because it's just not a long list. And by not long, I mean unique spell. Yeah, they only have one. That one spell is Homunculus Servant, however, and it's a doozy, if you know how to use it. Basically, think your very own Find Familiar that can attack. There are arguments about whether it can use wands and such, as the caster makes the design, but if you do allow it, the Artificer gets incredibly chaotic, incredibly fast. In the best way possible. Okay, that wasn't nearly as impressive as Paladins, but can they make up for it? Yes. Yes, they do. And to prove it, I'm skipping to level 2 because replicate magic item. Perfect for if you want to be more armed to the teeth with gadgets and gizmos than Batman. This is it. This is the ability. You lack a unique spell list, but just look at all these magic items. If I wanted this video to be an hour long, I'd go through them all, but, you know, I'm trying to start small with my channel here. Start small, I say, doing a video on 3 classes at once. There are some unique ones, though, like Repeating Shot Crossbow and Spell Restoring Rings. It's awesome. Just know that this feature, along with others, makes up for the lack of unique spells. Next up is Tinker's Magic, which lets you create mundane items out of nowhere, which is better than you'd assume in the hands of a more creative player. Level 6 has the Magic Item Tinker ability, which, okay, I could write this off as an upgrade, but let's be honest here, it's way too fun and flavorful to ignore. You can charge, drain, and change magic items with this. Like that one guy who always has 3 battery packs on the go for some reason. Look, it lets you delve really deep into the items you create and push their power to its limits. It's really flavorful for the inventor type. Flash of Genius is where you, actually, your allies, so they do better, I guess. Don't do this in real life, but again, a great ability for a nerd to have. Then there's Magic Item Adept. A bit passive, but more magic items is more magic items. Next up is what I'd say is the biggest upgrade in 2024, Spell Storing Item. Basically, this is a DIY magic item. Store up to a 3rd level spell, now you can spam it. On certain subclasses, this could be Fireball or Lightning Bolt, but again, no subclasses, so I'll leave it at that for now. I like this one a lot. After this, it's 2 more magic item carrying upgrades, then Soul of Artifice. Soul of Artifice basically makes you a lich. Like, change the word magic item to phylactery and you're a lich. Either way, being able to tie yourself to the magic items you create is a very cool feeling and a very thematic feeling capstone. Wow, those 2 classes took a long time to talk about, huh? And we haven't even gotten to the man of the hour yet. This is going to take a while to get through. So what does the range get for unique features? Nothing. Okay, that's not fully fair. It does get some stuff, it's just nothing that's all that unique or impactful. First, there's Favoured Enemy. Free Hunter's Mark. We'll get to it later with the spell. Next, Expertise in Languages, which, wow, another class of expertise. Feeling adventurous today, aren't we? Look, I like expertise in languages, but it's not exactly screaming unique. Roving finally comes in at level 6, but doesn't do much actively. Climbing, swimming, and going fast is flavorful-ish, but at level 6 feels a little too late. Then there's expertise again, I guess. Tireless, I kinda like this. Temp HP and exhaustion reduction feels survivalist. The vague whiff of Bear Grylls. Nature's Veil, finally something interesting. Becoming invisible and sneaking through the forest really fits Ranger. But minor issue, this is level 14, and invisibility can be grabbed by so many classes at level 3. Still nothing exciting. Feral Senses is actually unique. 30-foot blindside is pretty cool, being able to sense your surroundings with your understanding of nature. Shame it's level 18. And for the capstone, look, I'll be honest, I can't fake excitement for this shit. 1d10 Hunter's Mark? Really? Genuinely? What the hell? No, I'm sorry. This whole features list is an actual joke. What happened here? Okay, wait. Let's give the Ranger a little leeway. Maybe it's all in the spells, like the Anti-Artificer. Okay, first up when you talk about Hunter's Mark, 1d6 each attack, concentration, cool, fine. But it's not fine. Look, this is just a worse version of Hex and Divine Favor. It's not even unique. This is what put the nail in the coffin for me with this class. Hunter's Mark is meant to be the defining spell of Ranger, and it's just not even unique. Hell, Divine Favor lacks concentration, so a Paladin is a better Ranger than a Ranger. Okay, next is Ensnaring Strike. This one's cool. After a hit, you can restrain. Yeah, that's more like it. Using vines and bramble, controlling nature to fight your foes. This is awesome. Shame Hunter's Mark is concentration, and the class practically begs you to use that instead. Hail of Thorns, a little AoE damage after hitting a creature. Yeah, I like this a little, but it's not very strong. Warden of Arrows. I love this one. Actually, I'll play my hand a little early here. This is what I wish the Ranger was, a prepper, a trapper. I know it's not much damage normally, but with preparation and planning, you could poison the arrows and really make something of it. Actually, hang on to that thought. Conjure Barrage. Okay, yeah, I know this is just another damage cone, but I kinda like this spell. Let Rangers have this, we are finally getting somewhere. Lightning Arrow? You miss? No you don't. Again, with some poison, this could be awesome. Otherwise, feels a little underwhelming for a 3rd level spell, especially when you get it at level 9. But this flavor is really coming in. Conjure Volley. Didn't we already just... Yeah, it's more arrow spells, but hey, maybe Ranger isn't too bad after all. I mean, it's just one bad design decision in terms of the spells. As a whole, it's not like... Swift Quiver... Why do you have concentration? Why must you remind me of the vampire wringing the flavor away from the class? Okay, so looking through the spells, there's something here. It's just a shame all these spells are attached to a void of empty class design. Honestly, when you compare how unique the Artificer and Paladin are compared to the Ranger, it's just sad. Now, let me ask you a question after all this. Why would you play a Paladin over a Fighter Cleric multi-class? The steeds, the smites, the divine protection, all stuff you can only find in the Paladin, right? Now, think the same with a wizard fighter instead of Artificer. No magic items, no actuallying, none of this invented tech, you just can't replace it this way. Now, what about a druid fighter? Why choose that over Ranger? Hunter's Mark? You could just take Fey Touched. There, now you have it. What's next? Look, I know the spells are cool, but a lot of them come so late in the game, and druids have plenty more spells and some great unique ones. The explorer flavor is covered by the druid's wild shape and everything. It's just a waste of a class. But do you remember what I said at the beginning? The very beginning. That I missed the old Ranger, right? Okay, let's talk about it. The old Ranger had features such as Primeval Awareness and Favored Enemy, skills that made you an expert on foes and finding them, like Batmat shit, already did that analogy. Like Dora the Explorer. It had Natural Explorer, an ability that made you great at travel and survival. Then everyone just skipped over travel and survival anyway, I guess. The problem was these features are just not good. Yeah, this isn't an old ranger was good all along type video. I'm sorry, it was really bad. But it was flavorful and evocative. All these upgrades just lost bits of flavor, like Nature's Veil purely becoming basically the invisibility spell, replacing Hide in Plain Sight, an ability that actually lets you camouflage. If only the Coastly Wizards looked into keeping that flavor. Maybe not making the abilities hit or miss, adapting the analysis and survival skills in a way that actually fits the game in its current state. Oh well. Maybe at least someone could reveal they're ripping off the pointy hat video format this whole time and create a ranger subclass that fixes these issues. Yeah, shame I couldn't do that. So I made an Artificer subclass instead. Okay, wait, pitchforks down, hear me out. Ranger needs a lot of fixing, okay? The amount of power you'd need put into a subclass to achieve that is absurd. Official Ranger subclasses are incredibly limited in capability, and if I made a subclass that had the power Rangers needed, there's no way it'd be allowed at table. Artificers, on the other hand, well, most of that actual power is in the subclass. Shocking, I know after all I explained about what they do, but bonus actions that do 2d8 damage in a 15-foot cone AoE, extra attacks in the subclass itself with Robodogs, this is what I'm talking about. With that in mind, my solution to the Ranger not living up to its flavor potential is to just make a subclass to fulfill that instead. Introducing the Toxicologist. I wanted to recreate the analytical hunter that Ranger could have been, taking inspiration from Monster Hunter, Witcher, and even heroes like Green Arrow and Hawkeye. I've put together a subclass all about poisons. With this subclass you create coatings, each designed to take down a certain type of foe called a prime prey. You can use these coatings every long rest and spend spell slots to make more, so unlike Old Ranger, you're not just locked into something useless the whole campaign. These coatings range from being able to heal allies to granting fear to foes. Though each coat is specifically made to target a certain foe, they'll still work no matter the situation, just not as effectively. You can also analyze foes to find out which coating is best and create the perfect one for the situation. And then there are even different traps the class can use with a special ready action. There really is a lot. I hope you understand why this would be too much for a Ranger. I've even added some of the flavorful spells from the Ranger and placed them here. Remember what I said about applying poisons to Cordon of Arrows? Yeah, you can do that with coatings. You can find a link to the Google Doc with the subclass in the description of the video. Finally, I plan to put out a few shorts about the subclass to explain some of the cool tricks you can pull off of it, so look out for those. Phew, that was a lot. Look, I know it's debated what a Ranger should and shouldn't be, and this subclass won't be for everyone. But also, I believe it says a lot when the Ranger is so lacking that I had to make a subclass for a completely different class, just to get the feeling I wanted from it. But yeah, if you don't want homebrew at your table, play a Dex Paladin instead. Just throw swords out of a bow, reflavor your horse as a big dog, take Vengeance Oath and you'll feel more like a current Ranger than the current Ranger. I still think it lacks a lot of flavor the Ranger could have, and you'd be losing an honestly cool spell list, but oh well. Maybe next edition. Anyway, thank you for watching my first full video, everyone. This honestly took a lot to make, and if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. If you wish, make sure to like and subscribe to let me know you liked the video. My next one is more of a D&D story type video, so I'm still in the exploration phase of this channel. Any feedback would be wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you visit here again. Bye!